If you want the web, viewing us right now via YouTube. Good afternoon to those of you viewing us on Facebook. Facebookers, how you guys doing today? Top of the afternoon to those of you locking us down, whether in your home, your office, or your car. Wherever you're listening to my voice, I say thank you so much for choosing me. My name is Aisha Wells, and I'm in your company today until 5 o'clock. Well, I have a hot show today, so I urge you to like the video and share the live. Pick up your phone right now and call a friend and tell a friend that Aisha coming for the TTPS. So is one law for the rich and one law for the poor, yeah? All right then.
Time for drilling.
All right, I'll be right back. Stay with me. Let's go.
Just beg them to rise up your file, make me run some copper. Real top shot of the lamb wagon butter. MPs from Russia and a tree long chopper. Eveless pa. Cause make sure you get it up and top. No need for no reasoning and chatter. No small can't tell them all we green them fatter. I better make them know. All of my dogs them evil know. And we start kill people, we don't stop. Monsters out, but don't for the BI6 them with the drip. Mount that all up and cliff to refill. Send them in a grave free quarantine and check me. Get lash up on, get lash up on, get lash up on, get lash up on. All we gun them tall, no see no setter and gun. Shoot it down from far, mash your head up and gun. Get lash up on, get lash up on, get lash up on, get lash up on. Yeah, yeah. I'm better make them know. All of my dogs, them evil enough. And we start kill people, we don't stop. Monsters out, but I wanna see no cops. Still one hit it up now. Yeah. All of my dogs, them ready for kill. Watch out for the BI6, them with the drill. Mount that all ups and cliffs to refill. Send them in a grave free quarantine and chill. The war now start. On this one nobody can pass. But your brain get machine like a jam tart. Rise the machine, make me tap it in your damn thoughts. Drive I jump.
Feel the power, feel the power, nice sweet soca. Feel the power, feel the power, feel the power, nice sweet soca. Feel the power, feel the power, feel the power, nice sweet soca. Feel the power, feel the power, feel the power, nice sweet soca. Tuesday morning we coming down, truck passing through Chinatown. Glass in my hand, sipping me rum, and I'm not running from the sun. Rum in my veins and in my face. I hope I mightn't be out of place. I'm taking a wine, don't watch no face. I know I would have okay in the right place. Digest, 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 digest. Carnival is a time to relieve your stress. Digest, 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 digest. Carnival is a time we have no time to rest. Up tongue, down tongue, them want to zest. The old and the young coming out of the dead in a mess. Put up your hand if you're blessed. The rum hit the head and the chocolate, the road and the gun in abundance. Whining low, yeah. Whining low, yeah.
Some on the inside. According to the Express, it had a zest, a private zest, Trinidad and Tobago, in a gated community in West Trinidad. Cops were called, but the limers were warned. According to the article by Leah Sorayas, dated September the 8th, 2020, the police had to be called to Bayside Towers gated community in Cocorito on Sunday to break up a poolside birthday party attended by more than 40 young people. Although breach of several COVID-19 regulations, yes, several, not one, not two, not 10 Trinidad and Tobago, but several COVID-19 regulations according to the article. Some including congregation in groups of more than 5, being in a public pool for recreational purposes, failing to social distance, failing to wear a face mask in a public space. The partygoers ultimately received a warning from the police and were sent home. According to the article, the group earlier received an advance warning, so there was a first warning. But the police warned them about their behavior before the officers arrived at Bayshore Towers. According to the article, it gave the partygoers enough time to disperse. So here we're going now. We call you. We got a complaint, Mr. So-and-so, that there is a pool party going on. Remember the COVID-19 regulations, etc., etc., etc. Please desist from partying. They ignored the first warning and continued. So the police eventually showed up at the residence, according to the article. And the party goers, according to the article, by the time the police arrived, only a few party goers were still on the scene. So not all left, because after all, we in the West. So some still stayed and partied. Speaking on a condition of anonymity, an official associated with the apartments confirmed the incident during a phone interview with the Express. The official told the paper the organizers of the pool party were residents of 3 apartment units. Prior to the party, we sent out warnings to all residents that once they are in the common areas, they must wear their masks and social distance accordingly. According to the article, we specified where all of the common areas were. The pool area is a common area, and you must wear a mask. And if you are down there, you must social distance and not have more than 5 people, according to the official. I'm going to stop there, Trinidad and Tobago. I have videos of the zest that I'm going to put up on YouTube. Yes, I have videos of the zest I'm going to put up on our live stream when we come back from the next break. I'm going to put it up for you guys to see, because I remember Trinidad and Tobago that there was some young men in the Sealots area bathing down by the sea in the Sealots area. I don't know if you remember that video, yeah? And the young men were making some annoying comments in regards to the Commissioner of Police, Gary Griffith. And by doing so, they taped themselves. And within 24 hours, all the young men on the said spot were located. They were made to lie down on the ground, they said they. And there was a video circulating of them apologizing to the Commissioner of Police for breaching the regulations very early in the game. I have the pictures, I have the videos of that too. I'm going to put it out there as well. So I have a lot of questions today. Several questions today. One, is it a different law as it relates to people that live in Trinidad and Tobago other than the West? Because I don't know if you guys also remember, let me jog your memory. A few weeks ago, an article came out where there was a private zest down the islands where several highfalutin people were out there acting like they just don't care with their hands in the air. And there was an increase, according to the article, of COVID-19 cases in the West. People were just flooding West Shore. I don't remember anybody being charged for having that private zest. However, I do remember that some men was held in a bar up in San Juan. Yes, some men was held in a bar up in San Juan for gambling on the spot, made to lie down, and their faces were plastered all over the TTPS website and page. Just last week, some people were arrested in Mayaro for the same thing. Over 60-something people were arrested for not wearing masks on the weekend. So is it that the law only works for people that do not live in West Trinidad? I have some questions today. Why is it that this situation was made to occur? Number one, there was a first warning. The police called them and told them to desist. You think them people stop? The zest continued in Trinidad and Tobago. So much to the extent that the time the police pull up, people was still zesting. And those persons responsible, you think they were brought before a court this morning for breaching COVID-19 regulations? Far from the truth, Trinidad and Tobago. They were sent home. Let go home, behave yourself and go home. I am angry today. I am upset today. Because there are some of us that's taking this COVID-19 thing very serious, doing what we are supposed to do, following the regulations, the rules, and the guidelines. And then there are some of us, well, let's just say we're more fortunate than others. I'm going to open the phone lines and take your calls very early. I intend to call real people in this hour, including the Commissioner of Police. The video is out there. The zest is out there. Everybody's faces is out there. So you can't say you don't know who they is. The same way that there was a video highlighting those young people in the sea-lot, we had the video. We have the video and I'm putting it out there. All the faces of the individuals involved were there. The residents down in West Shore willing to communicate with the police. They're willing to cooperate and give you the names of the persons who were a part of the zest. According to them, there were 3 apartments involved. People living in the apartments held the zest. They're willing to give up the names. Something has to happen. The phone lines are taking your calls. 342-008-1771-1791-4665-391. Feel free to call us. Let's go.
Carnival is a time to relieve the stress. Carnival is a time we have no time to rest. Uptown, downtown, them want to zest. The old and the young coming out of the nest. Only rum shots and we head in a mess. Put up your hand if you're blessed. When the rum hit the head and the chocolate, the road and the gun in abundance. Whining low, yeah. Whining low, yeah. What you call that? Digest. Carnival is a time to...
All right, my lines are busy. Let me go straight to the lines. Caller, you're live.
Hi, hello, how you doing?
I'm good. How you doing?
I listen to you. But I think it will always have crime because of how to deal with situations like this. You can't have one side doing one thing and punishing one and then punishing the next. It will continue. If the guys in Silat see that they doing what they will want to do the same thing. But they can't move it, they have to do it equal. If you know they're locking down everybody, they're supposed to be getting the same treatment like the fellas from Silat. They can't be doing that. That's my contribution.
Thank you so much. You know, because when the term zest comes up, there are some people in society feel that the zesting is only for us in the ghetto, and that is only the little black ones in the community don't understand the importance of the COVID-19 regulations. Well, look what's going on here. Peep it, people. Peep what's happening here. Yeah, private zest going on. And everybody sent home after. Nobody going to court this morning. Caller, you live?
Yeah, good afternoon, Aisha. Aisha, I'm glad you raised this, you know. Because I remember seeing the guys when Guy Griffith went down there at Silat, and all of them lie down on the ground, and they had to apologize to him. You see, this is the type of society we're living in. You understand? It's one law for the poor and one for the rich. You understand? The one when they went on the island down there and meet them down there, they said to nobody get charged, nothing. But then you hold the fellas up in Rio Claro, you hold some in Sao, you hold the others in San. So the poor man had to pay that price. You understand? That is society we live in today. And when done, you understand? But I just call them the second medical team coming on the TV this evening, you understand? To say something different entirely. I show you what happened. There were some people, a guy was stealing a man produce in Santa Cruz. The man held the fellas, tied them up, called the police. The police came and took the 2 fellas, 2 or 1, whichever it is, and carried them to the station. You know when the man went down the station, next day they can't find the 2 fellas. They can't up to the way and nothing about Alexander said nothing again about that, you know. The next thing is the commissioner of police. It looked like you can't see nothing about it. But I remember him saying when he get a job, you will never see him wearing that khaki outfit and I see me in the khaki outfit. That's the type of society we live in today. One for the rich and one for the poor. Once you're poor, you're dead in this society. You're rich, you can do anything and get away. Not one of those fellas, imagine you see them, you get them zesting, and you disperse them and let them go away. And you're charging poor people in this country, girl. What kind of society you living in, girl? I shall have a good evening.
We have no time to rest. Tuesday morning we coming down.
I'm putting up the videos.
Glass in my hand, sipping.
I want all you to see the zest. I want all you to see it. Because had it been a zesting taking place in Beetham Gardens or Basilon Street or Old St. Joseph Road or John, it would have been all over. I want all you to see mommy, good boy and good girl zesting in the middle of a pandemic. Caller, you live.
Yes, good afternoon, my sister Aisha.
Good afternoon, my dear.
Yes, I'm listening very attentively. That is what I keep saying. You see, Trinidad, a lot of talkers. Gallery for this small man. I always say the money man. Why Alexander don't bring some of the money men on the program who doing wrong things to this country? Only the small man will be showing. Only small, what even $2-3. You understand? Is that big man doing more serious crime in this country and the small man? They're not going after them. They cannot go after them. I say they cannot go after them because when they could pick up money and take 2-3 queen punks, they're not going behind them. The poor man can't even take a lawyer, a SC. You understand? So we have to pay the cake. Why they do not have 2 constitutions for this country? One for the rich and one for the poor. So we will know exactly how we are going, what is our rights. Because only the money man in this country has rights. Only he. The poor man has no rights. The committee anyway could bust through the poor man door and come inside the house. You could never do that in no rich man place. I remember somewhere down in West Long there, police went to a man, a rich man, a money man, he sit down in the hammock. And police by the door knocking, calling him downstairs, he wouldn't move. The police at that time ride off and leave the man there. If a poor man jump in the fence, they busting through the lock and going for he. You cannot say when the people support the police and the police picking and choosing who they want to charge. It is a law for everyone. America and them places, no one is above the law. No one. They say it in a minute. Not in Trinidad. And we have to take a stand. You understand? It's time. It's time the poor man get justice in this country. You can't get, rather I said wrong, not justice, you can't get a fair trial because there's no justice in this country first. But you can't get a fair trial. Have a blessed night.
Thank you, caller. Caller, you live.
Good afternoon, Miss Aisha.
Good afternoon.
Well, listeners and callers. Miss Aisha, well, it's long time is one law which I want to do, you know. Because if I think they say that how they get a call before, see, I was going to show you that. Informing them that police coming, something like that. And when they reach, they just tell them go. Then they get Gary Griffith. Your petticoat showing right now. For me, your petticoat showing. The one on the island too, all of them have to be charged. It's them money we supposed to have going inside the treasury concerning this thing. Because they might be looking, the police might be looking for the man on the street who might have it mask below his chin or in wearing a mask and give you $1,000. But you have over 40 something people in a setting party on the island inside this place and nobody can get charged, Mr. Gary Griffith. You're making joke right now for me, Mr. Gary Griffith. I say so. As a citizen of Trinidad and Tobago, go back again and charge all of them. Thank you very much, Mr. Aisha. Well,
thank you so much. This is the second one that occurred inside the COVID-19 regulations, and you cannot tell me it is by accident. The first time was when there was the zest down the island. Yeah, and then we got the report in the media that it caused a spike in COVID-19 cases in a certain community in West Trinidad. A video was out there. You saw people's faces jamming like it's nobody's business. Nobody was charged. But you're charging 60 people on a weekend for walking around with no mask. You went up in Sawa and lock up them fellas and them gambling. So is it that there is the COVID-19 regulations only working for people that don't live in the West? It is a legitimate question that I am asking. I am saying anybody that breach COVID-19 regulations, lock them up. We are in a pandemic and we have to take it seriously. The toll continue to rise from it. We almost 40. We battling neck on neck with this thing. And you still giving people a slap on the wrist and they know what it is going on in these communities. Look, Caller, give me a break this afternoon. Caller, you live.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon, Brother Tabakit. Caller, you there? Caller, I'm not sure what's happening. Feel free to call me back.
Feel the power, nice sweet soca. Feel the power, nice sweet soca. Feel the power.
All right, let me see if I get you now. Caller, you live. Good afternoon. Caller, you there? All right, caller, I don't know what's going on with your phone. I suggest you try and call us back. Like, I'm seeing you on the line and I don't know what's happening.
Feel the power, nice sweet soca. Tuesday morning we coming down. Truck passing through Chinatown. Glass in my hand, sipping me.
My website is up and running. YouTube, I'll read in your comments in a short while. For those of you sending those messages to WhatsApp, send it 771-1791. 771-1791. Hi, caller, you live.
Hi, Patricia.
Good day to you.
Good day to you. All right. You see, we have to remember something. Some years ago, I can't remember who it is said that there is certain sector of our community that they call the untouchables. That they could do whatever they want, you know, and nobody really can touch them because they own all the real estate and they own malls and, you know, they employ 40% of the national workforce, you know. So you can't touch these people, right? Remember, when the COVID started, they held, I think, 11 people up somewhere in Arima who went away, and I think they charged them $1,000 each, right? They went away, and I found out one of the residents in the area, right, who had passed away, right? And they charged these people. They took them to court. They showed their face on papers and whatnot, right? But then if our people, right, continue to just accept that, it will be the norm. You understand? That will be the continued new normal, right? Let us, our mothers and fathers said they had to find the $1,000 and the $2,000. You understand? That's poorer and poorer. Okay? Thank you.
Thank you so much. No, we need to understand what it is happening here so we can operate accordingly. Yeah, that's what we need to know. We need to know what it is happening here so we can operate accordingly. If we understand that the COVID-19 regulations do not work for people that don't live in the West, then that is what you need to tell us so we will operate to suit. But don't come with that kind of, look, caller, you live.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon, caller.
You hearing me there?
Loud and clear.
Mr. Tabakit, now. Let me say this to you. When you are the owners of all government in Trinidad and Tobago, and you call the shots, and you are the power brokers, you are the people who push the draft knobs to tell any government how to function. When my children and grandchildren is keeping any party, regardless if it's up the island, down the island, West Shore, West Bay, to the end of the day, one call to Gary Griffith. Look, these are the owners of Trinidad and Tobago children, and you cannot touch them. And I'll tell you, that is sad. You remember when they had the incident in Port of Spain when the woman on the Beatum was shot?
Yes, I remember.
That right? And I am saying, they went in there. Gary Griffith unleashed the war of dogs on the people in Beatum, Laventille, and Sealots. Gary Griffith, let me tell you, Tabakit is saying, Your girdle, you have on a red girdle. And I am saying, you see, I'll tell you, Trinidad, let's face it. Let us not be a hypocrite. Let us not bury our heads in the sand. Those are the owners of Trinidad and Tobago. Those are the people that is in control of any government sit in the road of governance. So you can't touch them, you can't hold them. And who don't want to understand that? I say, all you living in La La Land, Aisha Welch, you always say this is not a real country. Let me repeat you're saying this is not a real country. Because in any real country, this cannot occur. And Gary Griffith, you owe the population an answer. But as I take my leave, how could you hold the owners of Trinidad and Tobago, the power brokers, the people who control prime ministers? You can't hold their children. Tabak it out enough.
I'm getting ready to show the videos. I have them. I have the videos of the private zest that took place last weekend down in the West. I have it, and I'm getting ready to release it. So all who feel that, they don't have any information, so we can't charge, because they like to tell you we can't charge because we don't know. Well, we go know. You soon know. You soon know. And then I'm going to play for you the video of the young men bathing by the beach in Sealots. The fact that they were found, made to lie down and apologize to the Commissioner of Police for breaching COVID-19 regulations. And I have the date. The date was April 19th. So it was April 19, 2020, 27 was held on Sealots waterfront for breach of the health ordinance regulation. Ladies and gentlemen, a video footage showing dozens, mostly young people under the age of 20, went viral earlier that day, with the recorders in the video using obscene language and boasting that they don't care about COVID-19. The video shows an obvious breach of the public health ordinance regulations. Commissioner of Police Gary Griffith, using specific technical units, was able to pinpoint the exact location. And when it was confirmed that the same individuals returned to the same spot another day, again breaching the public health regulations and putting their lives and the lives of others at risk, the commissioner moved in on the 27 persons and held them. All assembled together on the seafront in Sealots. The majority were minors. According to the article, the Commissioner of Police, instead of having them arrested, decided to explain to them the dangers of congregating, placing them and others at risk, and he released them. Commissioner Griffith states that he fully understands that many young persons who becoming very frustrated due to the stay-at-home policy, but the frustration cannot and should not be released by committing actions that can cost them and their friends their lives. Commissioner Griffith said, I can appreciate how challenging this can be for both parents and their charges. However, I am appealing to please keep them away from groups for more than 5 and more according to the public health ordinance. Find creative ways to channel their energy for all they have to do at home without the assembling in large group. Be innovative, but do it within the going of the regulations. Dated April 19, 2020. So let's look at what happened on April 19, 2020, Trinidad and Tobago, and what occurred last weekend. Okay. So the similarities were that they were bathing in a public space. The youths were bathing in the water in Sealots. The other people were bathing at the pool. Both parties, one down in the west, groups of 40. In Sealots, a group of 27. Down in the west, they were older than the age of 18. In Sealots, they were under the age of 18. Listen where I'm going. In Sealots, they were not warned or forewarned of their behavior. Down in the west, they were warned on the same day the party was occurring. In Sealots, they found them the day after and they made them to lie down and apologize. Released them because they were minors. On the same day down in the west, after they were warned about their behavior, they continued until the police come. And then they were told to go home. Adults, not minors. Imagine I saw a picture of an old man, could be about 65 years old last weekend, all over TTPS page. This man breached COVID-19 regulations and they could tell Pops and commit a crime in his whole life, and they just catch Pops in a group of 7, and that is it. Pops is a criminal. Pops face all over the internet. But these good boys and girls down in the West could do what the hell they want. Zest from sun up to sundown. And nobody can do them nothing. Only real get through. I'm going to some voice notes.
What you call that?
Digest. Good afternoon to you. And once more, people say that our quote unquote, right? I'm not bashing him, but people say this is the change we want in terms of our police commissioner. Well, I'm here to tell you, the only change we would get is paying a man for not doing his damn job properly. Full stop. Because you would leave the places, the so-called high-rising places, you would go and just let them off with a warning. But the simple young men who on the side of the road probably gambling and with the mask hanging under their chin, right, charge them. The law is always different for the poor man, and while the rich get richer, the poor get poorer, right? This is the examples that the lawyers set, the politicians set, and then the police commissioner also. I don't expect anything different from him, you know. Especially to say, because you know what, he came from a political background, you understand? So he would still play politicians, you understand? He's still a politician. The only difference is he wearing khaki. But suddenly, you know what, his uniform only goes on when it's time to probably walk somewhere. You know, suddenly he just went to jacket and tie and boxer shorts. Understand? Come on, Mr. Gary. You could do better.
All right, on YouTube, same dude says, good afternoon, Aisha. Good afternoon to Geneva Derby, to Nick Star. Good afternoon to Lisa Peterkin. Good afternoon. Nick Star says, must be nice to have money and look a different way. Hazel Felix says, Aisha, you look vexed. You don't get vexed. We like it. So, while Troy Neal says, Aisha, you are a boss for raising this issue. Hazel says, debt is rising to COVID-19 due to elections and I'm not hearing the PM anymore. Michael McKenna says, good afternoon, Aisha and everyone. It's systematic attack on black people and the poor in TNT and the world over. Those persons in the West should have been charged. Manuela says, good afternoon, Aisha. She's hoping I have a safe day. Nixta says the commissioner said he didn't have enough evidence to charge anyone down the islands. But how convenient that everybody else and their mother could get a ticket without an advanced warning. Diane Payne says, good afternoon, Aisha. This have always been so. They can do what they want. They cannot stop it. Unfairness in this land. Amara Tube says Trinidad is not proper, or we are not poor, we are being oppressed by PNM people and a PNM government. While Nixstar says, goes to show how the socio-economics lines have been drawn in the sands to protect those by the law enforcement arm. Alright, so I have a minute, exactly a minute before the next break. What I'm going to do is go to the break, and when we come back, I want to get some videos up for you guys to see what's really going on in this nice place with these nice little boys and girls down in the West who just could do what they want. They could zest up, they could zest down, they could zest all the way around, and when they done zest, they go home and lie down in the good place. While you walking up and down the road and forget your mask, could be charged and fined, and your face plastered all over social media. And we shouldn't talk about that. Don't talk about it. Class in my hands, they take me wrong, and I'm not running from the sun. Rum in my veins and in my face. I hope I mightn't be out of place. I'm taking that wine, don't watch no face. I know I would have okay in the right place. Digest. Carnival is a time to relieve your stress. Digest. Carnival is a time we have no time to rest.
K-Talk, you talk? Come talk with us. On the street
919 FM.
Get interactive with the Street 919 FM.
All day, every day. See us all live on our Facebook page.
Share and comment on our show.
Like our page.